Thanks for the time. I appreciate having an opportunity to talk to you. I'm talking to Camelia at Novantum. She's given me a lot to think about. I've been an entrepreneur for all my life. My very first career fair as a child, I remember I was walking around the little booths and I was looking to see what business I would start based on the jobs they were offering. It just never occurred to me to be an employee. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I just always thought it would be something that I would do myself. Flash forward very shortly after I left university and came to Vancouver, I incorporated an event planning business because I found myself running around as a temp at home shows and gift shows because I had applied to every temp agency in the city with a view to seeing what opportunities there were. Again, same as the career fair when I was a kid, I was not looking for a long-term job. I was looking to see what businesses there were, what's valid. And when you're in a short-term situation as a temp, you're prime pickings for event planning because they only want you for a week or 2 weeks. Back then, of course, that was before digital marketing. They might want you to mail out 1 million tickets to the home show, or literally one job, which you probably could not even imagine, was called runner. And that person's job was to run all 3 layers of BC Place Stadium, running messages between all the exhibitors and the people running the show. You had to look good, dress-wise, but you had to be able to run all over BC Place Stadium. So I had a little suit with shorts so that I could look professional but still basically run a marathon for the duration of the home show. By the time I incorporated the business, I had done every job that I would ever ask anyone to do in the 25 years that I then planned events. I found my way into the environment industry niche, managing the I was an assistant on the second, but I managed the third and subsequent next however many Globe events. So that's a large international trade show and conference for the environment industry. And of course it was a 3-day extravaganza hosting 10,000 people from around the world and usually 30 conference sessions. It was a very interesting piece of business to have in the overall company. And I was, blessed with some really great support people who worked with me over the years, and my office was down in Gashtown at the time. So flash forward, the series was taken over by another owner, and that was the major piece of business for my company. We had differences of opinion in how that was going to go forward, and we agreed to go our separate ways. So in the time that I was considering my options for what event I would plan next, I realized that I was doing more and more work to help my brother-in-law, finding ways to pull the job out of the office, because as he explained it to me, the value of a dental office, the square foot value of a dental office, especially in the downtown core, you don't want to use too much of it on admin. On admin equipment or admin personnel. So taking more and more of that off his hands, I started to think what other practices might be able to benefit from these services, and I started developing abilities to remote in, access the patient records from outside the office, take over the phones on the weekend to make sure we don't have empty chairs when the dentist arrives on Monday. By the time COVID hit, I had a fully functioning, completely remote business right around the time that the convention industry went straight into the toilet. So it was luck, fluke, just more of the really good luck that has followed me in many, many ways. Reincorporated as MACI Dental Practice Management, hired my first team member and went from there. Now we're, over the course of the last 5 years, I've provided support for 17 different dental practices. Currently, my time and the time of the 5 people who work for me also remotely is fully taken up by 3 major downtown dental practices. My remote team is made up of people who used to be dental administrators and now love the possibility of using all their skills and knowledge and not leaving their home. 2 of them are new mothers. One of them lives, out sort of in the suburbs and would like to stay home and look after her chickens rather than go into a dental clinic. But she's a really great support. for our team.
So it allows a lot of independence and stability for a lot of people.
Yeah, and flexibility.
Absolutely.
Once they know what they're doing, what happens is each person comes to me, I teach them everything, and inevitably one thing will stand out. This person's good at this person's good at that. And once they have their thing that they do, then they can do it anytime they want. We're all on Teams, Microsoft Teams, and they'll just beat me whenever they're available. I can do a couple hours, what do you need? Boom, then they're doing it.
What do you feel contributed most to your success or helped you overcome challenges from the businesses that you started?
Oh God, that is easy. It's always the people. Always the people. Back to event planning days, that first time I managed an event, I was just way over my head. No idea what I was doing. I actually hired my previous boss to be my mentor behind the scenes to help me do that job. And then the idea of being found out, that imposter syndrome. I was in my 20s and in charge of this stadium full of tradesmen setting up trade shows and all this kinds of thing. And I thought, I can't let them know I don't know what I'm doing. What I quickly learned, and what was a complete game changer for me, was let them teach you. Let them see they need someone to be the client. It's okay. You don't have to know everything. Rely on the people around you.
Tell me more. You were talking about the people that you were working with and running around as well as...
Yeah, the suppliers. So it wasn't long after I incorporated that I got cocky and I thought, well, if I can run an event, I can own an event. So I took over an event that someone else couldn't do anymore, and it was a disaster in every possible way. A total disaster. The best news about that event was that nobody came, so nobody knows about it. But the supplier I worked with on that carried me emotionally, mentally, and then financially up out of that disaster by forgiving my debt. Just forgave it. I was so devastated by that loss. Levy Show Services, a major contractor in the event industry here in town. I never did a show without them after that. Collaboration. Asking a question doesn't expose any weakness that everyone wasn't fully aware of before. If I knew how to do that, you wouldn't be here.
What allowed you to scale or grow your business successfully compared to others in your industry that may have struggled at that time?
Well, that is an excellent question as well. I think the common denominator in both of my businesses is the niche factor. I'm not actually aware of a business that does exactly what I do now. I've seen other remote practice management companies. I wasn't aware of any when I started, but the ones I've seen, if you look at the services in my website, they might do, A through B, or, little chunks here and there. Maybe they'll do the patient care, maybe they'll do accounts receivable. They're not going to do all of it. I can literally, my elevator pitch is, we can do everything but greet and seat. So we're not replacing front desk staff. What we're doing is making it possible for the front desk staff to be front desk staff, to be pleasant and open and provide that feeling that the patients need when they arrive. A lot of patients have great fear when they arrive at the dentist office. And if the front desk team is preoccupied with some report that's due, or balancing the deposits, or anything like that, then they're not giving their empathy to the patient.
What would you say to someone who wants to move on, wants to have independence, autonomy, feeling like they want something of their own, but unsure of it, feeling a bit stuck?
That's another really, really good question. I think it's kind of easy to answer though, because unfortunately that person is probably also stuck in a relationship they don't want to be part of, in a neighborhood they don't want to live in, and you know what I mean? Like, why are you doing that? What are you afraid of? Sometimes the things that happen accidentally that you see, or not accidentally, but they weren't expected. Bad news, right? The best thing that could happen to that person is they walk in tomorrow and they get fired. But that's not going to happen.
Because you've been there for so long.
You're gonna have to take that responsibility on yourself. And it's the same as if you are in a relationship you don't want to be in anymore. You don't wait until you have a soft landing. That's disrespectful to everyone, yourself and the other person. Same as your employer. Your employer deserves your integrity. You're not happy there, get out. You're not going to figure out what to do next until that monkey is off your back.